Let me show you the simple math to get so rich that you, your kids, your grandkids will never have to worry about money ever again. Let's assume that you invest $6,000 today and you never invest another penny again. You take the $6,000 and you put it into an investment that's generating you 25% a year in interest, and you let your money sit there for 45 years. Now, when it comes time for you to retire, you will have over $130 million, which will take care of you, your kids, your grandkids, and probably even beyond that. At this point, you might say, well, Jaspreet, where in the world am I going to get a 25% return on my money? Well, Amex is doing it. Visa is doing it, Discover is doing it, MasterCard is doing it. This is the math that your banker and your credit card company has already done, which is why they love it when you spend money you don't have, because the average American household with credit card debt has more than $6,000 in credit card debt right now. You're paying around 25% in APR, and when you do this for long enough, you are going to make your banker and your credit card company so rich that they're going to be able to fly around in private jets and have these big, huge buildings. And that's exactly what's happening. This is why it's so important for you to understand this, so you can get your spending under control, so you can stop making them rich and use your money to make yourself rich first. The second thing your banker doesn't want you to know is how the banking system actually works, because it follows a system called fractional reserve lending. Let me show you what that means. You have an extra $100 and now you take this money and you deposit into your bank's checkings account or your savings account. I drew you right here for my male followers. I drew a mustache, which in my native language Punjabi we call a much. For my female followers, I drew a braid. In my native language Punjabi, we call it a gut. Now, you think that your money is sitting there in a vault, but that's not exactly what happens, because your bank doesn't want to keep this money on their books as a liability because they owe you this money. Instead, they want to take the money that you deposited and give it to somebody else through a loan. That way your bank can start earning interest on your money. So here's what happens. Your bank is going to take $90 out of the $100 that you deposited, and they're going to lend it out to this guy right here. Now, this person has to pay the bank back with interest, but as soon as they get paid this $90, they're going to go and spend this money somewhere. If it's on a credit card, they might go spend it at Gucci. If it's on a car loan, they might spend it at BMW. You get the idea. They're going to borrow this $90, and then this money is going to get spent and deposited into bank number two. Now, bank number two is going to get this deposit, this purchase of $90, because when that money gets spent, it goes into a bank account somewhere, and bank account number two doesn't want to sit on the $90 either, because they want to start generating interest on this money. Now, remember, this $90 started with the $100 you deposited in bank number one, and now bank number two is going to do the exact same thing. They're going to find this person right here, this female. I'm just going to draw here as a female because this person was a male, and then they're going to lend out 90% of this. They're going to go and lend out, let's call it $81 to this person right here, who now gets very happy. And now bank number two gives this person $81, who's going to deposit it into a different bank. And now you can start to see all the things that happen. This is called fractional reserve lending, and it happens on the premise that everybody is not going to go to the bank to withdraw their money, because if everybody were to go to the bank and withdraw their money, now you'd have a problem, because bank number one is not sitting on all $100. They're sitting on a fraction of each person's deposits, and they're only able to do this because they hope and pray that everybody's not going to go and withdraw their money at one time, because if they did, it would cause this entire system to come crumbling down. This is why FDIC insurance had to be created, because when you would have those types of bank runs, the entire banking system would be on the verge of collapse and everybody's money could disappear. And so now FDIC insurance is there to protect your deposits up to, today, $250,000. But that's why, if you stick with me, I'm going to show you how you can actually win through this system as well. The third thing your banker doesn't want you to know is that they are not your financial advisor. When people go to make a big purchase like a house or a car, who do they go to for advice? Generally, it's their banker. And your banker is not there as your fiduciary, meaning their interest is not to protect your money. Their interest is to make the biggest commission for the bank. And your banker is on commission, meaning the bigger the loan they sell you on your car or your house, the bigger the check that they get. There's a saying in the business world which goes, never ask your insurance salesperson how much insurance you should get, because the answer will always be more. Well, that also applies in the game of banking, because if you ask your banker how big of a loan should I get, their answer is always going to be more. Now, I'm not saying all bankers are bad. Some bankers are very good in the sense that they will care about your finances, but you got to understand the game. They're in the business of selling you money. They're in the business of lending you money, and the more money that they can lend you, well, the more money that they're ultimately going to make. And the banker can generally have some very lax rules to give you more money for your house and your car, because once you sign the paperwork, it's your problem, it's no longer their problem. So they don't really care if you struggle to save your money or invest your money after you buy that Escalade, after you buy the BMW, after you buy the really nice house. All they care is that you signed the paperwork, because now your banker got paid, and then they're generally going to take that loan and sell it off to somebody else. That way that loan becomes somebody else's problem. The fourth thing that your banker doesn't want you to know is that the bank doesn't always follow their own advice. The financial advice that many banks tell people is to save your money in the bank because your savings are a great way to build wealth. Well, if your banks followed their own advice, they would be bankrupt. Let me show you what I mean. Let's go back to the $100 example. Let's assume that you have an extra $100, and let's assume that the year is 2020. Let's go back in time a few years, and you deposited this $100 in the bank. Well, the average interest rate on a savings account in America today, at the time of me recording this video, is 0.41%. Now, I'm going to round it up just to be generous. Let's assume that you could get a 1% return on your money, a 1% interest on your savings account in America, which is more than what the average savings account is paying. It's more than twice what the average savings account is paying, which means over the last 5 years, you would have grew your $100 to $100.05 plus 10 cents. So $105.10 is what your $100 would have grown to over the last 5 years by saving your money in a traditional savings account, while the prices of things have grown a whole lot faster than that. The reported inflation rate in America was around 23% over the last 5 years, which means if groceries cost you $100 5 years ago, today the same basket of groceries is expected, according to the numbers, to cost you $123 today. Now, I get it. Many people feel that it's a lot higher than that, but I'm just going to stick with the reported numbers, which means if you just kept your money in savings, you've effectively become poorer. Yes, you have more dollars, but relative to the cost of living, relative to the prices of things, you are effectively poorer just because you saved your money, because you cannot out-save inflation. You have to invest your money, which for many people means taking your savings out of your bank account and putting it into an investment account. I'm not saying you shouldn't have any savings. You need to save your money strategically. You want to save your money for an emergency, save your money to buy a big purchase, save your money to buy an investment, but your extra money needs to be invested. That way you can actually build wealth in the system and not see your money lose value to inflation. Now, this brings me to number 5, which is probably the most important part of this video, but I also want to remind you that for those of you that want to become investors or that are investors, my team at Briefs Media publishes a free daily newsletter called Market Briefs, where we break down what's happening in things like the economy, the housing market, the stock market, the crypto market, and the global economy into a fun and witty and easy to read newsletter. We have hundreds of thousands of investors that read Market Briefs every single morning. Plus, when you join Market Briefs, you'll also get our investing masterclass to watch as a free bonus. You'll get it when you sign up for Market Briefs. So if you want to get Market Briefs for free and watch our investing masterclass as a bonus, I have that link for you down in the description below. If you enjoyed this clip and you want to continue your financial education journey, I have another video that I think you'll love. All you got to do is click that button right over there. And for those of you who want to stay up to date on the top finance and business news, you can join Market Briefs, my free financial newsletter, by clicking that button below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.